What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. I know we've probably all seen this insane broken build right now, currently a bug with the Sturm and Drain combo, but today I wanted to break down this entire build for you so you can solo a dungeon before Rick Kackis finishes his intro. Let's get into the build. So obviously we want to be using Sturm. This gets a benefit from Drang, but also from the new rocket sidearm, the Unfall. So this has Storms and Stress, so final blows with Together Forever weapons. Reload this weapon and overflows it with bonus damage rounds. Basically, final blows with the bonus damage rounds increase the magazine capacity for Together Forever. Basically, all you have to do is pair this with the new Unfall sidearm, or you can also pair it with Drang. Unfall does drop relatively easily from fire team ops. I was able to get 2 with 1 run, managed to get Deconstruct with Lead from Gold. Basically, all you have to do is get kills with your Unfall, and it is going to boost your Drang, but that's not what's broken. This actually is busted and but an insane bonus damage to your abilities, whether it's your grenade, your melee, and in some instances, your super, depending on it. I know we've seen a lot of grapple hunters one-shotting bosses, titans fletching melees, just destroying absolutely everything. So today, with this specific Warlock build that you guys saw in the intro, I'll quickly break down what exactly I'm using. So if you want to replicate it, you can, but then I'm going to show you a couple other builds on different characters so you can really pick whichever one fits your playstyle, your preference the most, and go ham with it before Bungie nerfs it, which most likely is going to be soon. So for this specific build, it's nothing crazy other than Sturm and the Unfall sidearm. We're also using a Star Eater class item just to get the most out of the damage. Fragments doesn't necessarily really matter. I am putting on Facet of Ruins for increased ignitions. Then we're also going with Bleak Watcher and then Facet of Courage, so we get bonus Arc, Solar, and Void ability damage when we debuff enemies with Darkness ability. So let's go show you this really quickly so you can see what it all looks like. First, we're going to just show you the base damage, super, no buffs, nothing like that. So you can get a good starting baseline with how this build actually functions. So sitting at 0, and we will just alternate melee and grenade just for the sake of the build. So this is 0 Star Eaters, this is 0 buff from Drang, and we got 1 more grenade off. So we were able to do 19,100. Probably could do more if we were just focusing on our melee aspect, which tends to seem to do a little bit better. But now let's go ahead and test it with a full buff. So first, what we want to do is what I've seen a lot of these builds do is you get a kill, right? If I could actually get the kill, you swap over to your Drain, you have Sturm overcharged in the bottom. But what we want to do is get this up as high as possible. Plus, at the same time, we're going to create Orbs of Power for our Star Eater buff. So let's just go ahead and get that done really fast. Kill all these little scions. Dude, I don't know. This sidearm feels really, really good also. So if you never got yourself an Indebted Kindness, hop into Fire Team Ops and grab this guy. It is actually insane. Okay, so now we're sitting at Sturm times 20. Let's just bump it up just a little bit more and get Sturm times 25, just to have that nice number. Okay, there's 25. Reload our melee. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and do the Bleak Watcher. We're going to debuff him, switch to our Sturm, and just see what we can do for damage. Now we'll just do the grenade and the melee again. We have 37 shots in the mag with Sturm, which is insane right now. But you're seeing this is already damage-wise going up a lot higher. So that was 19,000 to begin with for our baseline super damage. Now we're sitting at 145,000. That is bonkers. So we're getting the buff from Star Eater. Our super's at 145. Our grenades at 165. That's utterly insane. So you guys need to use this broken build before it gets fixed. And the best part is you can mold this to any playstyle. Real quick, I'll show you another really fun Hunter or Warlock build that is extremely easy to use. And we're going with the classic Verity combo. So the great thing about this specific one is Verity is going to get that buff just because it's an arc weapon getting the kills for a grenade. So real quick, we'll toss on Flux Grenade. It does tend to do the most damage. Pulse Grenade does do higher damage, but targets move around a lot, and the Flux Grenade just sticks to the bad guys. So let's go over here. We're going to switch this over to 200 Grenade just to have that full baseline right there. So 200 Grenade. This is going to give us a base damage of probably like 5, maybe. I don't know how much thousand. Not that much. Okay, so 3,285. That's without a Stern buff, and that's also without our Death Thrones buff. So let's go spawn some Scions, get the rest of these bad boys killed. Because this is going to do two things, right? Because we have Verity, which procs Death Thrones with arc kills, which is going to enhance our grenade. But it's also going to buff our Sturm at the same time. So this build also synergizes really, really well, and it's extremely easy to use. So now we just got to make sure we can get our Death Thrones as high as possible, because there is a little bit of a time delay when it comes to spawning in the boss. We're going to throw that over. And right there, 27,273. So that is a utterly insane increase. But now just because we'll do it without the exotic on, just to see a better idea that we're not getting just from the Death Thrones buff. So we'll get it from just the base Sturm buff right here. Okay. It's 25 right there. I don't need to throw that, but... So it was 27,000 with Death Thrones fully stacked up. Almost 4,000 base by itself. And that one's at 17,000, meaning you could toss on something like Geomag Stabilizers or any other exotic that you wanted to use. You could even run this on a Starfire Protocol build, and it is still going to give you just utterly insane damage. So we've tested it at full 25 stacks. Let's see if there's a difference between just one Sturm Overcharge stack and the full 25 that we actually have right here. Now let's just shoot a bunch of these shots to get rid of them. We'll go down to 1. Okay, so we have 1 overcharge. Last damage grenade from 25 was 17,000. So it does do a little bit less damage, but still 11,000 on 1 grenade is actually just insane. So basically you want to be using your unfall as much as possible, then switching over to Sturm once you get those stacks extremely high, and use your super, use your abilities, your melee, whatever it may be to get the most out of your damage. So now let's go just show you really quickly on another character what it looks like in terms of Titan and Hunter. Okay, so now swapping over to Titan, let's get a baseline just off of the... We have 198 melee, you're not able to get 200, but we have Wishful Ignorance, which is going to give us an additional Frenzied Blade and Fletching Storm, briefly increase their damage with each strike, and Pulses from Banner War return melee energy based on the number of allies healed. So it helps when you're in a team with this as well. But frankly, we're just going here for Fletching Storm and our little Frenzied Blade. So pop this, let's get a base right here. $8,300, not including all the unravel that it's going to do. Now let's go ahead and buff our Sturm all the way up and see what the damage difference is going to be. We'll also have a melee font on this, so basically we can get 200 melee. That way we have a better idea, because our last test was over at 200 grenade. And a little, or yeah, it was 200 grenade with the Verity build. So 25, we got full stacks, we got our armor charge in there. Now let's see, that did 8,000, a little over 8,000 on the first one. So now let's test this one again. But first, I was doing this so much earlier? Come on. Rally, there we go. Okay, I screwed that up and did not swap weapons, but that is A-okay. We managed to hit 12,000. Let's fix this again. So 30,000 370, a little over that. Now let's see if the super damage is going to do anything when it comes to our melee super for this guy. I don't think it's going to do anything for Titan like it did for Warlock. Yeah, it's not going to do it with that. So it works with some supers, it works with some instances, more than likely how the actual super is coded. But of course, it'll also work with our hunter builds. Okay, so for the hunter, we are going to test this on just a prismatic hunter with just Liar's Handshake. See how well this can actually do. We'll get a good baseline to start this one off. Let's get our guys in here. And we are sitting at about 158 melee on this. I have terrible melee stat armor on the hunter, so we can't get up to 200. But for the sake of it, the star armor stat is going to be the exact same with each test. So sitting at 0, grapple melee, 1,098. Now let's buff this up a little bit more. We'll do the same thing without. We'll just do our Liar's Handshake proc with combination blow fully up. So just get our abilities back. That should give us combination blow ×3 for a little bit of time. And we use Transcendence, so we screwed that up. It's okay. Do it again. For that to go down a little bit more. Okay. Now we keep our combination blow stacks up. Now let's get this in here and see what it can do with fully combination blow stacked. It was at 1,098. Combination blow ×3 puts that at 5,172. Now we'll test it fully buffed with the broken Drang that's going on right now. Let's get the Drang stacks up first, because those do not disappear. $25, perfect. And it takes forever because I don't have good class stats, so bear with me on this one for 1 minute. Could still have combination blow, I think ×2. Yep, or no, we do have ×3, so we'll just reset it really quickly. Did I just completely lose it? Probably. Sure did. Good job. Okay, that should give it to me in 1 second. Let's go reset this real quick. Okay, perfect. Now we have our Sturm overcharged. Let's see what this does at combination blow ×3 with full Sturm. I could already tell that was insane. 18,737. So obviously with this, if you saw like Sneaky's, he one-shot the Prophecy first boss. As you saw on the intro, we were able to one-phase the main boss, or the first boss in Warlord's Ruin. Basically, take this build with these two weapons, mold it into whatever build you want to or like to be running, and it is going to just drastically increase how effective it can be at the end of the day. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, comment down below what your favorite adaptation of this build is, and as always, I will catch you in the next one.